We're starting now. Hey, we're at Split Screen. Welcome to the Almost Legal Podcast, joined by the guy who taught me everything I know about umpiring, Boomer Browning.
You're out.
You are out, dude. Look, if you watch me umpire, you'd be proud, because I stole all your moves. All of them. Even this little thing. 2 outs.
2 outs. You know who I stole that from?
Who'd you steal it from?
Griffey.
Who's Griffey?
Ken Griffey.
Oh, Ken Griffey. I thought Griffey was an umpire.
No. I saw him when he was with the Reds. I saw him play the Braves, and we were out there, and that's what he did for 2 outs.
And you're like, that's just the coolest thing I've ever seen by far.
Well, it's the kid, so yeah.
No doubt. Before we get started, I want to point out something, if you haven't noticed. If you haven't noticed, it's a little bit different, the look of the show.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's we're trying something new here. Hopefully it'll turn out good. Later on in the show, I'll have my social dude come and kind of tell you about everything that's new and how to interact and stuff. I only called him social dude because I don't know if he wants to be named. But, yeah. Okay, anyway, for the show. Last time I talked to you, what did we talk about? Just crazy sports and sports in general, right?
Right, yeah, it was a long time ago, probably 3 months or so.
3 months? Really? It seems longer than that.
Longer than that.
I think we talked about slam ball and how huge it is in China.
Right, yeah, I love slam ball.
It just blows my mind that no one has, like, severely snapped their leg in half playing that game. Like,
speaking of slam ball, why is it not bigger here? I mean, because, like, the trampoline thing is growing, right? Like air parks or whatever you call it.
Have you been to one lately?
No, I've never been to one, but I think it's awesome, and I would love to go, but it would be like 10 minutes, and then I need to take a break.
Right? No, okay. Karma bit me in the ass last time I went. We went to this, I can't remember the name of it. It's behind the old Starbucks right on 119. Yeah. Anyway, so we go there. And you have to buy socks or something with like rubber padding on the bottom.
Right.
And this guy's like, hey, what socks would you want? I was like, give me the most flamboyant ones you got. And, I was like, and then I go, by flamboyant, I mean gay. Okay, then he brings them back to us, and he's like, obviously flaming homosexual. And I'm like, shit. And I had my foot right in my mouth. So then he's like, all right, it's going to be 15 minutes until the last group goes. Y'all can go, like, find a locker or something. So, all right. So I just, like, find a locker, pick it, and I'm like, oh, locker 13. I shit you not, I said this. I'm going to, like, break my ankle or something. And Becca was, really, I was setting it up just to sound smart, because Becca was like, why? I was like, because 13's unlucky. She's like, what? And I was like, you ever notice there's no 13th floor in buildings? And she was like, all that was set up just to make that one point and sound smart. But, so we hop in, these kids started throwing war balls at me, and I literally almost broke my ankle. I like 10 minutes in.
I think I remember seeing something on Facebook about this.
Yes, it was
swollen, and I think they like blurred the picture out. You know how they do that on? You know how Facebook does that?
Yeah, but maybe puts that shit.
Right. Yeah.
Every time I see that, I click it, and it's like a hunter with a deer. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Right. There's been a couple times where I clicked it, and I was like, but I have a weak stomach, so.
Oh, you do? So you're not watching those pimple popping videos, I bet. Not for you.
I watch them to a certain point, and then I'm like,
nope. Mm-mm. The thing with me, when you see people with like a baseball-sized cyst on their neck, you're like, how the hell did you let it get that? It's not like you woke up and you're like, oh, shit, I got a softball on my neck.
Right.
You know it's been bothering them.
This has to come from something.
Right?
No, that's terrible.
So I played you in fantasy this week.
I don't even want to talk. I knew you asked me to be on the show just for this reason. So
that is not true. That is not true. It isn't. No, look.
Listen, what I am watching. I was like, and I text you early, way too early.
Well, that's the way it was looking, man.
And I text you. I said, "Hey, it's going to come down to Sunday night, the Patriots game, because you had James White and I had Edelman." Well, I was not really paying attention, I guess, clearly to your lineup, where you had like 8 people going the second game of Sunday.
Oh, so you texted me like pre-Saints Rams game.
No, it was middle of the game. It was like middle of the third quarter of that game is when the first text you said, "Hey, I think it's going to come down to Sunday night." Well, what? Thomas,
he caught that 72-yard touchdown that did it in. No, he was up by like 8 points at that time, and I was actually kind of getting nervous a little bit. I was like, I might lose a game, and then somehow I ended up winning by like 26 points. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it, but
I saw you got Des Bryant though.
Yeah, listen. I'm off today, off work, so I move slow in the morning. I jump out of bed at like 10 o'clock. I go to the gym. I'm going to jump on the treadmill, and as soon as I jump on the treadmill, looking, and Bleacher Report tells me that Des Bryant's signing a contract with the Saints. I was like, what? So I moved straight to fantasy and just picked him up.
I was wondering. I thought he wasn't like on there. I was like, where the hell is he? I was just gonna steal him. I wasn't gonna use him. I'll just be a dick, you know.
I'm not planning on using him until a couple weeks. But I drafted him last round of the draft.
Really?
Yep. And then he was still available, and so I dropped him like 3 weeks in. I had to pick up a defense, and so I dropped my spare defense to pick him up. So
yeah, I dropped my defense. There's not a lot of good defenses out there, really. I was forced to go with the Bills, which they're okay, but I would have never picked them if they weren't playing the Jets. That's the only reason I picked them. I need them for a week. That's my 1 week part of my lineup is my defense. I've had the Texans, and they won't cost me, but they won't win me a game.
Right. Well, my defense is the Bears, which was a midseason pickup.
Okay, off your starting lineup, name your starting lineup. Who is your original? Like, who did you draft?
Let's look at it. I drafted my quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. I'm looking at your team. Why am I looking at your team?
You want to know what a real team looks like? Probably.
Is that what it is?
Roasted.
James Conner's on my team, who is probably the best pickup I've had. I drafted the 49ers running back, probably second or third round, and I dropped him already. Dalvin Cook, who just played last week for the first week. Who else do I have? I got 3 good quarterbacks. That's about it. Adam Thielen. That's my best draft pick right there.
Okay. Well, the only people really I didn't draft that's on my starting lineup is the Bills defense, which I had to drop my Texans because they're on a bye. Greg Olsen and James White.
Yeah.
And then I got Stephon Diggs, Mark Ingram on the bench, and I drafted them. So I had a hell of a draft. I wasn't confident going into it. And then I got some confidence, you know.
I found some confidence somewhere.
Yeah, I've been killing it.
You had a keeper. You had who was you had 2 keepers. I had no keepers.
I had 1 keeper.
Well, whatever.
Todd Gurley. But that really is just your first round pick.
Talking about Todd Gurley though. He's not a talking point.
And then Patrick Mahomes,
I'll say this though.
What's up?
Everybody that has picked up Patrick Mahomes is the luckiest person.
I drafted him.
You drafted him what, like in the 15th round?
6th round.
Wow.
I'd use the same logic I used when Jimmy Graham came on the scene. When the Saints flat out cut Jeremy Shockey, I was like, this Jimmy Graham guy must be the shit. And look what happened. If Andy Reid's willing to cut Alex Smith and let him loose for a washing machine and a steak dinner, this kid must be the truth.
I agree. I hate him, but I agree. But my Patriots.
What about your Patriots?
Still beat him.
I hope so. Because I feel like the Saints match up better with the Patriots than they do the Chiefs. It's all about matchups.
I agree. And there's only one way to beat the Chiefs. There's only one way to beat the Saints. There's only one way to beat the Patriots, and that's to outscore them.
True. True.
Either way, that's the only way to beat them.
Yeah. I'm in mixed feelings. I want to win a Super Bowl, but I honestly think that if the Saints win the Super Bowl, Drew Brees retires. What do you think?
He might. I don't know.
See, my dad's in the ballpark of, he's going to stay as long as Tom Brady stays. That way he gets the touchdown record. But I'm like, he's got like 90% of all the passing records there is to get. Like, wouldn't you rather go out on top than have that one extra record? No matter even if he gets the touchdown record, no one's still going to give him the credit he deserves.
My thought is, if I have $12 million looking at me in the face, I'm going to take the $12 million. But if I'm Drew Brees, I already have money in the bank, so it's not like. So it's hard to say.
Yeah. It's like that Daniel Tosh bit when they were talking about Brett Favre. He's like, hey, Brett, everyone thinks you should retire. He's like, how much did you say that check was for? Oh, $20 million? So they can go screw themselves.
Yeah, I'm going to take that $20 million.
Yeah, and he's like, well, look, 4 years not good enough to be a starter. He's a backup. You know what that pays? About $4 million. Yeah, I'll do that.
Right, yeah.
Dude,
give me the money.
Yeah, that's why Jake, his dream job was always to be a bullpen catcher.
Right?
Make league minimum. You just drink beer and warm up pitchers. What more can you ask for?
Depending on the team, you have fried chicken in the middle of the game.
That is true.
Right?
Speaking of fried chicken, did you pick up with? Are you up to date with the UFC and everything?
I've been watching the what's his name, Cormier, whatever.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier. Well,
yeah.
Okay, well, so Derek Lewis, who's a funny guy. This guy says my balls are sweaty. That guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so going into Stipe and DC fight for the heavyweight championship, he was talking shit to DC, and he's like, I don't even know what's wrong. And the media's like, what do you have against him? And DC's like, yeah, what do you have against me? He's like, oh, you disrespected that Popeye's chicken. That doesn't stand well with me. You know, he got a lifetime contract with Popeyes because of that. And he comes out and he says, I'm more happy about my Popeyes contract than my UFC contract. He's like, I live right next street, right across the street from Popeyes. But staying on fighting, are you ready for the what is it, the Bama Hammer or whatever? What's it called? Bronze Bomber versus the Gypsy King.
The Bronze Bomber, man. You know what? I just love that there's somebody from Alabama that is making boxing big.
Relevant, right? Yeah. But he's kind of, no one will fight him. And then that's hurting him because they say his resume is not that stacked or not that good, but it's not his fault. Like, he's trying to fight Anthony Joshua, and they flat out said, no, we're good. No, I don't want to.
No, I mean, he is... Like, he's the epitome of somebody you don't want to fight.
No. He's just
like
awkward.
He's killed, like, knocked out everybody.
He's killed a man.
Yeah.
He stabbed a man in the heart with a trident. I know, I saw that.
He has nothing to lose. Like, you know what? I mean,
besides the fight.
Right. He's from Tuscaloosa, okay? He was a nobody from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, he worked at an IHOP to put food on his table. But the thing is, this never happened. No, like, I'm going to try. I might have to work the streets and work the corner, get some knee pads and save up some money for it. But like, you don't see this very often. Where a heavy, because that's one thing I don't like about boxing. The greats don't fight the greats. Their management, their promoters, they don't want, if they got a money cow, they don't want to see them fall. You know.
Right.
So when you see a 40-0 versus 29-0 with Tyson Fury, you don't see that very often because he left on top with his mental health issues. So it's basically two heavyweight champions of the world fighting each other, and that's huge.
Right. No, I mean it's going to be a good fight. I mean, what's good about Wilder fighting is that each fight gets better and better. I mean, regardless of the people that don't want to fight him, there are people that will. So the fights have gotten better and better. And so each fight is like, he could. Okay,
right.
now.
Well, see, my thing was, I always would say, is it's not really fair because Deontay Wilder, he's huge. He's 6'7". He's athletic. I'm like, it's not even fair. Like, who can compete with that? Well, Tyson Fury's 6'9", and he's a better pure boxer than him. But I honestly think that Deontay Wilder is going to catch him.
This guy, Fury, the guy that he's fighting this time, is actually, he's got a better reach. You know, he's a better boxer all the way around. So it'll be fun to watch. This
will
one,
be.
Actually, you know, but like you said, Wilder's not the traditional boxer, so that's why he's knocked so many people out. That's why his faults are better.
He's just awkward.
Right.
But staying on boxing, what do you think about Floyd Mayweather's new opponent, that Japanese kickboxer?
He pulled out.
Oh, no. Did I miss that?
Yeah, he pulled out.
Am I spreading fake news? Who did?
Mayweather.
What?
Yeah, this evening he pulled out. He sent this big message, and he's like, they were talking. Anyway, it was like they led him on the fight and how everything was going to go. So
Japan's pretty sketchy with this shit.
Yeah, but he might have got scared. I thought he was stupid for taking the fight anyway.
Like, was it kickboxing rules?
They didn't say the rules yet, but he was taking a fight against this MMA guy who's 20 years old, and he's 40, what?
40. I think he's about to be 41 or 42. I don't know. I'm not good at math, but
if I'm 40, I'm not fighting somebody who's 20. It doesn't matter.
In a new sport, how are you going to start? He is a freak. You know, I wouldn't put anything past him, but like, I don't know. I guess paycheck's paycheck.
But I'll say this: 100 mil is 100 mil.
Yep. Hell, I'm on $20 still, but it is what it is.
$20.
Right. So, I haven't seen your Facebook post of a picture of you saying I voted. What happened there?
Oh yeah. I went this morning because I thought that Democrats voted on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I read about that in a book.
Yeah, I read it on social media, so I thought Democrats voted. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we said that last week.
You know, people told me to early vote, so I was waiting on early voting.
Vote.
And
what is that, like a fast pass at Disney? What is that?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'll tell you this though. I think I'm still registered to vote in Chelsea, and I do not live anywhere near Chelsea, so I need to update that if I'm going to do my civic duty.
I don't vote, so I can't voice an opinion.
That's
why I don't claim a party. So that's why I don't have a dog in the fight.
You know, it's funny. The older I get, the more dogs I have in the fight, but I've never just taken a side. I guess I don't know. It's bad.
It's a good way to do it because you tend not to be like one of those brainwashed sheep that just they get so emotional and defensive about a person they've never met, and they act like they know them because they said this on TV, and they pretend like, oh, no one's writing what they're saying. No one, this is what they mean, even though they're saying the same shit the person before them said that ran for the same party.
Right.
Look, people judge me. My parents judge me. My mother-in-law judges me on that. People died for you to have the right to vote. And I was like, people died for me to have the right not to vote. Like, I don't want to vote. I don't have to vote.
Right. You know what? That's right.
Hey, look, if I don't want to vote, I don't want to vote. I don't buy into this illusion of choice.
It's America.
It's America.
I don't have to vote.
I don't have to vote. by God, I ain't falling for this bullshit. Them giving this hoopla to me saying that we have choice. We don't have choice. We get to choose the two people that they chose for us.
Right. We get to choose the people that get to choose what they decide to choose, what's right for
right.
Choose.
It's like a mom and pop. It's like a meat and two restaurant. Do you get to choose what you eat when you go to a restaurant with a menu? Applebee's. You can pick whatever the hell you want. You're going to meat and two. What's on Wednesdays? You got Salisbury steak and fried chicken. Is that choice?
Choose available.
That's the same thing, just completely different. It makes sense if you don't think about it. Dude, do you remember? I forgot when this was. It might have been the primaries last election when in, I think, North Carolina, D's Nuts had 9%. People wrote in D's Nuts so much that it was third in their voting. There was Hillary Clinton at 38, Trump at whatever it was, and then D's Nuts at 9%.
Let me tell you something. If that was a campaign, I would be more likely to vote for that.
Yeah, who would be the face of D's Nuts? What if for sake of argument, let's say D's Nuts somehow won. What would they do?
Right?
It's a mythological person. Would it be that guy from the meme with that jacked up teeth? These nuts got him. What if that's who they went? Like who made that famous? So that's got to be the president.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
No, but seriously, how would that happen? Say people actually wrote in Nick Saban for the governor of Alabama, and he actually won the popular vote.
I heard some other men that were really crying for that to happen.
Keep calm and what? Carry on, give up, pay it forward. This slogan was revived in the mid-2000s. Is
that you or me?
Took the internet by storm.
I guess.
But originally, it was meant to keep British morale high.
I think that's you.
Oh, is it?
I think so. It scared me. I was like, I don't have anything open. What is going on?
I thought you had a commercial going.
No. I do. I am working on one. Someone contact me. I got to get that going. But yeah, it is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a commercial.
Yeah, it's a commercial.
And we're back.
And we're back. Dude, that was my favorite thing. What is that? Saturday Night Live? That's Ben Affleck, right? And we're back.
And we're back. Yeah.
Look, for a while there when I started this podcast and people kept backing out on me and I had to do it by myself, I considered doing that. I used to say it all the time and just doing different voices by myself.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Mama, random stuff. And that was supposed to be a sentence, but I screwed up the accent, so it's kind of...
Man in the can, get back in that can.
Yeah. So you did podcasting for a short stint. How'd that go?
For a short stint. Listen, I loved it. I loved doing the, pretending like I was a radio show and putting it out there for people to listen to.
Do it, man. I just like that mic. I keep eyeballing it. I want to put
there it is.
I want to put it inside me.
Whoa.
In a good Christian way, of course. In a good Christian way. Yes.
Well, I got to know my mic before,
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm more of like a casual fling, I meet my mics on I can't make it an app up in my head. Yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about Alabama. I want to talk about NBA. I want to talk about MLB. I want to talk about all. So, Alabama, LSU, were you surprised by the outcome at all?
No. Kind of. So let me preface this with I made a couple bets with some guys, and I won all my bets. I said that Alabama would cover, and then I also said that Alabama would blow out LSU. So those were the two bets that I made, and those both happened. But
were you able to bet on the terms of will blow out LSU? Because that's pretty vague.
It was up to them. I left it.
Oh, shoot you.
So
they beat them by 15. I told you they're gonna blow them out.
Told you to blow out. I thought that Alabama would score way more points than they did.
Well, that was the thing with LSU. They were just. I always said the one outlier was the Georgia game because how physical LSU played. But I was like, the offense is too one-dimensional. And then when you come to game time, it's like Les Miles came back in town and was the guest OC. They're like, all right, we're one-dimensional, and we can only run the ball. Okay, let's run the ball 9 times in the first half. Okay, that's a good idea. So that's basically the sum up of the game. And they're trying to take 2 out by hitting a helmet straight to the dick.
Right. Early in the game.
Early.
Luckily, that's where he took the hit. So
yeah, it is what it is.
I thought that it was going to be a much higher score game, and I thought, hey, our defense has given up some points, so I was pretty surprised that we shut LSU out.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been saying this for a while. You get all these people like Joe Klatt and everybody.
Right.
And they're talking about how Alabama's defense this year is not as good as, of defenses of past or whatever. I know I worded that wrong, but they're not as good as past Alabama defenses. But here's my thing. And this is what I kept saying to everybody. I was like, going 3 and out tires a defense, right? Scoring in 3 plays is just as exhausting. I said as the competition increases to where they don't score every 3 plays, their defense is going to improve. Because you know how many times this year somehow something will come up and I'll miss like maybe the first half of the first quarter, or I'll miss the entire first quarter, and I turn it on and Tua has 5 attempts. He's 5 for 8 with 3 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns. Like I'm like, what? Look, they have so many 3-play drives. It's insane.
That's true. I mean, our defense hadn't had a whole lot of chances to play.
No. When they score the next play. They go out, they make them punt, and then they score in 2 plays, and they're right back out there.
Sure.
That's the same principle.
Yeah.
Good. That's the same thing. Do what? Yeah, that's when you, for example, when you have the Saints and you have like the Colts back when Peyton Manning was there, they gave up a lot of points, and that's when they get to the bend but don't break. A lot of the high-scoring offenses have the bend but don't break defenses or high turnovers. They get turnovers, but they give up yards. That goes hand in hand. There's a reason why a lot of high-scoring offenses have a not stout defense, but they do get a lot of takeovers. They're good in the red zone because that's successful teams, I'm saying. People with, for example, the Saints, few years in a row, high-power offense, and I think a traffic cone could probably play better defense than they did. But
sure,
it's that's my view on Alabama. Really, it's not fair. Tua is the most talented college quarterback I've ever seen.
I'm trying to like the passes that he throws and makes, his accuracy is unbelievable.
And it's not it's not even just that. That's great and amazing in itself. But like he, as a Saints fan, he reminds me just his footwork, his head movement. It reminds me of Drew Brees in his prime. He knows where to go with the ball.
Yes. So, like my thing as a quarterback, as a quarterback, you should know where your players are at all, 1 to 5 seconds. We'll say 5 seconds into the play, right? Mm-hmm. If you have like a mental clock, like most quarterbacks have, you got like I've got to get rid of the ball at 3 seconds. So you should know where all of your 4 receivers are. The thing with Tua is he can turn around, get turned around by a defense and go, okay, my receiver should be in the corner of the end zone and throw the ball, and that's where, Judy is or whoever. And it's amazing that happens continuously.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like his most impressive. Okay, we'll go game 1 versus Louisville.
Right.
His most impressive throw to me was that slant to Judy. He like literally it was just like he was running and it just like shoop, sucked right into his arm. It's very undervalued on just being accurate in those little elementary routes.
Right.
Having the ball a foot behind the person, slows them down, but they never like he speeds up when he catches it. He's incredible. But that being said, I brought that up for a reason, obviously because Tua is the shit. But when you go to, let's say, Thompson versus Hewitt Trustful, you know what game I'm talking about. It was on ESPN. You got Paul Bear Bryant's grandson and Tua Tagovailoa's brother. I don't know his name.
Right.
What's his name?
Talia.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he will. If I was him, I wouldn't go to Alabama. What do you think?
All right. So what you're asking me is my older brother, which I don't have, but my older brother goes to a college and is about to be the best collegiate athlete of all time.
I think we're about to say we're on the same boat, but yeah, keep going.
It's what every talking head is about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. No, I'm not going to that school. Just because.
Right? That's a lot to live up to. And I personally don't think he's going to be nearly as good as his brother.
That's exactly what Eli did. Guaranteed. That's
Peyton
exactly
Manning,
Eli. No, Eli.
Eli
went to a different school because Peyton was so good.
Well, no, Peyton Manning didn't go to Ole Miss because that's where his dad went. He was like a legacy.
Sure.
So I guess technically, yeah. But I would say Peyton more than Eli because Eli just went back to his roots where his dad was. But Peyton went out of the loop and just threw a wrench in the mix and went and played for Cutcliffe up in Tennessee. Which not the head coach, but you know what I mean.
All right.
But
yeah, there's no way. There's no way that I'm going.
It's a failure. I think it's a complete terrible decision if he chooses to go to Alabama. Alabama fans, you can be mad all you want, but for him, me personally, say that's a lot to live up to. One bad.
Listen, he can go. I would say less than 100 miles, maybe 100 miles in the opposite direction from where he lives currently, and be a hero.
And that's a sketchy situation in itself.
Right?
So, why? Okay. I'm just going to talk about it.
I'm an Alabama guy.
I don't care. I'm just going to talk about it. Okay, let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
About, I guess, 4 or 5 years now. I don't know. Thompson's about a 3-win program.
Yeah.
Old school, old stadium.
Yeah.
Now, they have a school that rivals community colleges. Brand new facilities, brand new $2 million aquatic center, brand new all this stuff. All of a sudden, this kid from Hawaii, Tua Tagovailoa's family, out of anywhere in Alabama, in a relative, respectable distance from Tuscaloosa, chooses Thompson, who coincidentally is just now doing this. Like literally, it's the same year he shows up. They have this new school, new stadium, new everything. Do you think it's a coincidence?
Oh, absolutely not. There's no coincidence that their dad, who's making who knows $50,000-$60,000 as a janitor.
He's a janitor?
I mean
whatever he does. That would be a good story. I like janitor. Let's stick with janitor.
Yeah, he's a janitor making $50,000-$60,000.
He's an ice cream truck driver. I like that one better.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, I do.
So,
well, yeah. Because, look, in just a 10-mile radius from Thompson, name some schools.
You got Oak Mountain. You got
Spain Park, Pelham, Hoover.
Spain Park, Pelham.
Homewood.
Yeah. Too many to name.
And not just anyone like elite programs.
Right.
To say that if you remove them from Hawaii, you can literally move anywhere you want. So
why? Okay. Why Thompson when you have Hoover right there?
Unless there's some financial backing from boosters to the Thompson program.
Right. I mean, there has to be Hoover High School.
Which I guess technically isn't illegal, but...
I mean, you know as well as I do, I would go to Hoover. I would choose Hoover over any high school in the Shelby County area.
Yeah, if I wanted to go into a high school that would prepare me best for the next level, yeah, no doubt.
Right. I mean, there was a TV show about it. I mean, right?
Yeah, JPW getting his wiener sucked at halftime and stuff, which I don't think was actually on the show. I think I just heard that. But it is what it is.
Who's coaching in Tennessee was on the show.
Yeah. Look, they getting a scholarship for pretty much any sport, especially football, isn't that difficult. It really isn't. You know, not everybody's talented enough to go to Alabama or a D1 school, but there's enough colleges out there. As long as you get marketed and your coach does a good job marketing the school, even then, though, even if they're not, you can market yourself. Like, for me, example, my coach did nothing for me. I created a website and uploaded my highlight videos on that. So instead of having to give a coach or mailing a coach a hard copy, I just sent them links where they could watch my highlights. And I ended up having opportunity to play and get a scholarship, but different paths and stuff happened. But that being said, look at Thompson now. Look at all the D1 recruits, possible recruits. Do you think it's a coincidence that they just happen to pop up, or do you think Tua's brother just happened to come here? So now they're on the pipeline. Now they're on the spotlight. Spotlight's on Thompson.
That's exactly what it is. Is now they're in the spotlight. So, I don't know. It's very on the gray side of the scale.
Yeah. What makes you think though? Like, how many players maybe had the talent? They just were in a location that didn't get the publicity, or didn't have a coach that knew what the hell he was doing, or had a coach who didn't have the connections and to build a pipeline to promote their players for extra college football and college sports. Like, it's interesting to think about.
It is, and it's interesting to think about how how many did we miss, and how many more are we going to get because of it. It's crazy to think, to me, or crazy to watch now, is how many unbelievable catches we're seeing now just because Odell Beckham made that one-handed catch, and now everybody catches the ball with one hand,
Mm-hmm.
But everybody wears gloves now too, so
yeah, it's a little unfair advantage. See, me when I played, I could probably catch better one-handed than about maybe 60-70% of the people could catch with two hands. Because I would catch with one hand all the time. I would just practice. I would do stuff. Like I did that with baseball. I would catch behind my back, like randomly, just all the time. Because you never know. I just did it.
I caught balls that people would throw back in over the fence in my mask behind my back.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. For example, I do that all the time. Warming up, your routine throw. I'll just turn my back and catch it behind my back just to do it. And it actually came in handy one time. I was playing in, I don't remember where. That's irrelevant. I was playing in Canada. We'll just make something up because I don't remember where I was. I was playing softball. I was playing right field at the time. Yeah. The ball was hit, so like it was a scud. So I just turned and yeah. That's the noise I make when I run. I don't know why. And then
this one, boys.
Yeah, so it had a tail on it that I didn't see at the time. So when I turned my head, it was coming to the other side. I was like, "Oh, scheisse, mukta, yeah." And so I just went just no look caught. It was pretty sweet. It added about 2.5 inches to my swing, but it was what it was. But stuff like that, I never would have been able to do that if I just didn't practice stupid stuff. I do it all the time.
No, agree.
Now, don't quote me in this and like don't throw a football at me in the streets and be like, "See, you can't throw." Bruh, that was like 10 years ago.
Right.
It's sad. So, I'm in a different category now. When people say, "Hey, did you play football?" I'm like, "Yeah, I played football." "What position did you play?" I go, "What position do you think I played?" "Linebacker?" Nah, bruh. I was a speedster. I was a corner and a receiver 30, 40 pounds ago.
Yeah, that happened. I'm glad you brought, some baseball up.
Yeah, bro, that's where we're going next.
Smooth
segue in. Go ahead.
Right. I have a issue with how the sports people portrayed my Red Sox.
Dude, they were pretty damn good. The first game MLB game I watched was Game 1 of the World Series.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good game to watch.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Red Sox were so legit. They're legit.
They were legit. Thank you. So everybody all year long put them at like number 3, maybe number 2, depending on their power ranking. But they won the most games, and I'm offended. And here's the reason why I'm offended. One is because I am a Red Sox fan. And 2, how do you put the best team in baseball at number 2? And maybe I'm saying they're the best team in baseball. Well, I'm thinking back. Okay,
Well, who was number 1?
Them winning. Well, they put the Astros as the best team in baseball.
Well, that's obligated, right? Didn't they win it last year?
Well, yeah, but once you make it to the playoffs, they're the second best team just because they have the second best record. You know, I mean, I don't know. Maybe tell me I'm wrong, thinking that the best team in baseball has the best record.
Yeah, good point. Well, and their stats, like you can't argue with that. Like how many in the playoffs they had like 19 strikeouts up to the World Series, something like ludicrous number.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't get into baseball. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess it's because it was my team that was in. I was so into it. I watched every postseason game except the 18-inning game. I watched up to like the 11th inning game, and that was the game we lost. As a Red Sox fan, we lost. And I shut it off for one reason. I was like, listen, if I watch this game all the way through to the finality
and you lose,
I would be double mad.
Oh, shit. I would be so pissed.
Right. Can you imagine staying up 18 innings and losing? Then you're like, shit, I'm up late and lost.
I can put myself in that position. For example, Drew Brees, he has the all-time record with consecutive games with a touchdown pass, right?
Right.
56 straight games with a touchdown. No, 56 straight games with a touchdown. Guess who went to the 57th? This guy. No touchdown, we lose. That started my streak. Now I'm like 3 games in a row where the Saints lose.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And this one coming Sunday is going to be the most heartbreaking because I'm going all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio.
You're going to the game?
Going to the Bengals game.
How about that? There you go.
Yeah. I'm going to be so anal if they lose.
Yeah.
I'm doing my John Gruden face right now. Like
I'm going to the Pats game, hopefully. Shout out to my brother, Andy.
Is he up there?
He's in Nashville. That's where he lives now.
That's nowhere near Massachusetts, bro.
Yeah,
they're playing the Titans. Never mind.
They're playing the Titans.
Right.
So
okay. Makes sense.
it's close. First of all, he told me to give him a shout out. And then second of all, he's been telling me that he hopes he gets me tickets. So
he better. Hey, Andy. I'm
yeah.
talking to you. Put the camera on me. Andy, you better get your brother some tickets. I'm looking you square in the eye. Okay, we're good. No, yeah. Look, that would be baller. Watch Tom Brady's One Last Dance.
One Last Dance with Mary Jane.
Yep. Look. You're not going to... Okay, let's have the GOAT. I forgot I brought that up to you. Let's have the GOAT debate here. Can we do that?
Yeah, I've been having this debate with so many people, and here's what my thought process is.
Tell me what your thought process is.
There's too many GOATs for too many things.
Well, this is about one thing.
Well, now we're going to narrow in on something. But there's a GOAT for everything now. There's a GOAT for podcasts, for crying out loud.
I'd say, yeah. Probably Joe Rogan, I guess.
Exactly. See, you're talking about it. No,
but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the GOAT right now.
Greatest quarterback of all time.
Go ahead. Tell me about it.
The greatest quarterback of all time. If you had to, and here's how people talk about it. If I had to pick somebody that was going to be my quarterback in their prime, I know there's only one person I'm going to pick.
Who's that?
Tom Brady.
Why is that?
Because he has 5 Super Bowl rings.
He doesn't have 5 Super Bowls. That team has 5 Super Bowls. You know who else? Okay. Go ahead and get... Okay. We'll stick on that. Okay, we're going to Super Bowls? We're going to Super Bowls?
I'm going Super Bowls.
All right. So why
I want to win. I'm going with Tom Brady.
Okay, what separates Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant? They both have 5 championships.
Oh, it's Kobe Bryant. Because he scored more.
Yeah, well, I know it's a poor example, but I'm saying he was on a team, right?
Sure.
I think right now I'm huge in this. Look, Tom Brady by far has had the greatest career of any quarterback to ever play the game. I'd say that. Sure. He's the most accomplished quarterback to ever play the game. Do I think he's the most talented, the greatest quarterback? I do not. And there's a few facts that'll come off that. Since he became a starter, I forgot what year was that. What year was it? Hold on one second. We're going to take a break here. Ladies and gentlemen, hopers and tramps. I might have hung up on him. He might have just...
We're back.
Are we back? What happened? Did you die a little bit? What was the last thing you heard me say?
I heard you say something about Drew Brees.
No, I was talking about Tom Brady.
All right, so when he first came a quarterback.
Okay, since he's been a starter, and I guess when was that? Okay, we'll just go since 2006, okay? Since 2006, we'll go when Drew Brees joined the Saints, and he was still with the Patriots. They are 14-6 without Tom Brady. I want you to take Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees off the Saints and the Packers. What's their record?
I mean, that's not fair.
Well, it is fair. Look what they're doing now. Look. For example, when you get Gronk out, right? And you got the guy who murdered people, not to be insensitive or whatever, just as successful. It's a great system. It's a wonderful system. It's not. They're not finding these diamonds in the rough with these little white guys who played quarterback at Kent State and they're all successful. No, it's a system. But they need Tom Brady to do it. Like, Tom Brady is great what he does. And then everyone hating on Drew Brees because, one, he doesn't have the Super Bowls, okay? And they're like, okay, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 7-9 seasons. We can count 8-8. Okay, he's got 5 7-9 seasons and an 8-8 season, okay? You know what the scoring defense was for his first one in 2007? He had the 25th scoring defense. 2008, 26th. 2014, 28th. 2015, they set the record for the all-time worst defense in the history of the NFL. And then in the following year, they broke their own record.
And he still can't win.
And he still can't win. No, broke their record with the worst defense.
That's what I'm talking about.
And here, I'm just going to go through a list of Tom Brady's scoring defense. Number 2, number 4, number 8, number 5, number 8, number 15, number 9, number 10, number 8, number 10, number 1, number 5.
Bend, don't break.
Okay. That's the argument. Okay, we'll get the rings, okay? Let's go passing leader since 2000, passing ranks since 2006. Drew Brees, number 1, number 2, number 1, number 6, number 3, number 1, number 1, number 2, number 1, number 1, number 1, number 4. He don't get respect. Like, I'm willing to, okay, if you were going to take the Super Bowls into consideration, yes, Tom Brady's number 1. But I hate how when they had the game against Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, they were like, the GOAT. They're playing for the GOAT status. Look.
He's a bad man.
Like, just like I'm willing to take into the Super Bowls into effect with Tom Brady, I'm willing to admit that Aaron Rodgers has probably the most arm talent ever, right? But I don't think he's as good as Tom Brady or Drew Brees.
Listen, if I had to pick a quarterback, my answer's still the same. But it's between two people.
Who?
And it's not Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think so. I wouldn't either.
Because if I want somebody who's going to pass all over the field, who's going to throw the ball, and who's going to help me win games, I really think that Drew Brees is my guy.
Yeah.
And I thought Drew Brees was a good guy for a long time. But I think
I get it. The 5 Super Bowls, it's hard to argue with. Like, I understand it. But I think overall, like, if you take out the Super Bowls, okay, because I think a lot of that has to do with teams. I think he's a better pure passer than anyone's ever played the game.
Oh, sure. I think that if you take Bill Belichick away from Tom Brady, he's nowhere near as good as he is. But I also think that if you take Sean Payton away from Drew Brees,
Oh, no doubt. I tell people that all the time. When people are talking about how Saban at Alabama all exists because they didn't pick Drew Brees. I think, yes, he would be in college right now, but he wouldn't be at Alabama because the timing wouldn't line up. But I also said that Drew Brees wouldn't be playing football right now. He wouldn't have any records. He would be subpar.
And this question would be completely different if Bill Belichick would not have drafted Tom Brady because let's say
if Drew Bledsoe didn't get hurt. You never know.
Right. Let's say Aaron Rodgers goes to some other offensive-minded guy besides Mike McCarthy or whatever his name is.
Which I think at the beginning was a lot of his success too.
Yeah.
But before I forget, I'm not to interrupt you, but my thing on Aaron Rodgers is when you got Tom Brady, right? You take out one of his weapons, two of his weapons. You take out Drew Brees' number one weapon, second weapon. Well, Michael Thomas is the first Pro Bowl receiver he's ever thrown to. One. They production doesn't drop. Tom Brady's might, but it doesn't matter. He's on a great team. Drew Brees, his production never falters, never goes down. He might throw more interceptions some years, but a lot of that's because his defense is so garbage. He's pressing and trying to make throws when he shouldn't. But Aaron Rodgers, not so much. Look at his numbers. They struggle when his number one receiver's out. Struggles.
Yeah.
His numbers aren't that great. But everyone, the mainstream propaganda media, even in sports, they push a narrative for MVP candidates, and then they hold it against Drew Brees that he doesn't have an MVP. I'm like, why are you going to hold that against him when it's a human voting process that y'all start conditioning people to start voting for some people? Sorry.
Yeah.
Not to get all conspiratorial or whatever, but it is what it is.
I also heard Stephen A. talk about this. If Mike McCarthy's got I've got the greatest quarterback of all time diagnosis or whatever, where he relies way too much on Aaron Rodgers being good, as opposed to making adjustments and helping his team be better.
Right.
So
I think the GM has a lot to do with that too. I'm a huge believer in the coaches make a quarterback just as much as anyone. Look at Mike McCarthy, for example, prime example. He made Aaron Brooks good when he was a Saints offensive coordinator.
Right.
Yeah, think about it. Aaron Brooks was a Pro Bowler when Mike McCarthy was there. He leaves to go to the Packers. We just have Jim Haslett. He is what you think he is. Yeah. He threw a pretty spiral, but back then the TVs weren't that great. So you see this beautiful spiral, and it's like right to the other team. Then he comes off smiling. You're like, what the hell are you smiling about? Douchebag. Yeah. Douchebag.
Tom Brady's still the GOAT.
I think just because of the Super Bowls.
It's bad luck for Drew Brees.
It is very bad luck. The perfect way to describe this situation is always the bridesmaid, but never the bride.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's the best way to describe it.
It is. That's a great way to describe it.
So other than Alabama, who is the one team that could beat Alabama? Or has the best chance?
I think Clemson. Well, no. I think Michigan's going to give Alabama fits just because their defense is so good.
I don't think their offense is that good.
That's what I was going to say. I don't think their offense can score enough points.
I think it'll just be like LSU, Alabama.
I think their defense can give them fits. But I think Clemson can probably score with Alabama, but Alabama's defense can keep them from scoring.
Yeah, and that Lawrence kid has shown struggle to stay healthy. Two, he's inconsistent. So you never know. And Tua, hell, he's starting to look like damn Gronk, getting hurt every damn play, making people nervous. I feel like I'm watching Brody Croyle again.
all the Alabama fans.
You're right. Every time Brody Croyle dropped back in the day, I'd be like, oh, God. Yeah, that was an Alabama fan back in the Shula days.
Yeah.
Dude, look, it's weird to think Alabama fans in the past decade have been spoiled beyond belief.
Oh,
And then they get Tua, and now they're even more spoiled.
Oh, yeah. I think back, and I'm like, it's hard for me to think back to when we didn't have a winning season.
Right? I remember the first Bama game I ever went to was during Shula. It was Vandy, and I think Alabama beat them by like 2 points, and they started singing Rammer Jammer or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, y'all just beat Vandy by 2. Why are y'all singing this? And like, they do it after every game. I was like, oh, okay.
Bro, all right, so the Affleck trivia question this week was, the question was, when was the last time Alabama lost by 16 points?
When was it?
And so I go, all right. And I tried to think back, and I text my brother, and I'm like, hey, it's when we lost to Utah back in like 08. Do you remember? It was a bowl game. Yeah. We lost by 14 in that game. So I was wrong, and I was like, crap. I mean, like, I'm trying to think back.
Who was it?
We lost to LSU when Nick Saban was coaching LSU.
No way.
By 16 points. That's how long ago we got, like, beat.
That's ridiculous.
That's what.
But do you think Alabama is bad for college football?
No. Hold on. Here's what you're asking me. Is somebody who wins, who is a winner bad for the sport? No. The answer is no. It's never no.
Well, they're so far. Well, I'm not going to jinx anything, knock on wood, but like they seem to be so much further ahead than the next person. It's like without them, it'd be mediocrity. You know what I mean? Them and Clemson.
Right.
They've been in every college football playoff.
Clemson's just as good as Alabama. Okay,
that's a stretch, but
they're just as good.
Yeah. Well, Alabama it's not even fair. When Tua got hurt and they were like, they said Jalen Hurts might play, and they show him like pimp walking down the field, and then they're like, oh, they got to go to this third string. I'm like, oh god, they got to bring in a 4-star as their third string quarterback.
Right.
They have 5 legit running backs that could start anywhere they want. Their receiving core is ridiculous.
Do you watch Funny Man?
Yeah.
His little videos for the game.
He was my first guest I ever had on here.
Really? The video this week was unbelievable.
Oh, when the smoke came in?
The main. We want all the smoke.
Yeah.
And he goes, listen, we got running backs 4 deep. Ain't nobody talking about that. Ain't nobody talking about how good our receiving core is.
He was on Rick and Bubba this week.
Really?
Yeah, it's coming on up. Coming on up.
He's getting an audience.
Yeah, he is. One last thing, kind of on that topic, we're SEC shorts. Did you see the one with the Birmingham Bowl Ouija board? Where it's
I saw, I think, a clip of it, but I did not click on it.
I forgot the teams. It was like Auburn, like a bunch of garbage teams, and it's like, which one do you choose? And then it's like, oh, they have the Alabama Nick Saban Coach Rehabilitation Center.
I saw that one.
That one's funny. It's hilarious. But can you explain before we close? You want to explain what's going to come? If not, we're cool. We can do it later. I can do it later. We can do it in post. But yes, is there anything else you want to talk about? Are you going to start up your podcast again, or are you going to start up another one? You want to plug anything, or?
Yeah. So me and my brother are talking about getting a show started, and it's in the very, very, like, when you say grassroots, I'm talking about like it's just buds. But we're talking about getting a show started, kind of like a night show, like a variety show, but like a Jimmy Fallon meets SNL meets whatever.
Backdoor Hussies 3. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just having a show that's a podcast second, but it's a live variety show first. And so that's what we're working on, and it's in its beginning stages.
That's kind of the direction I was wanting to go in, but I don't know. I'm trying to find a co-host. Not that I'm trying to replace Chris, but like I'm trying to maybe get somebody who's more passionate and about kind of the same things I'm kind of passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, have some knowledge of sports while being a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist, stuff like that. I got a lot of collabs coming up. I haven't penciled any down, but it's coming. Also, Almost Legal Gaming is going to be starting back up. Taylor Daniel is going to be running it. I didn't even pursue that. It kind of fell into my lap here because I had all that stuff from when Brad ran it. And then we were at Goodfellas. She goes, "You have any extra mic?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got like 4. Why?" And she's like, "Oh, I was thinking about starting a Twitch channel." I was like, and I like sparked up. I was like, "Well, I happen to have a camera, a green screen, a Elgato. I got it all." So it's in the works now. I'm kind of borderline destroying my studio, trying to find me a slot to slide her in, but be on the lookout. Also, if you want to be on the show, please email me at almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on social media. Any of them will work. Either me or Jack, the social media guy I was telling you about, Jack will do. Just hit us up. We'll respond to you in a timely manner. That'd be great. Also, when you see this, we'll talk about this more in detail here. This is kind of like the first time we did Streamlabs, and you'll see these things up like right there. You see that thing? That's going to be interesting. There's some other things you can go if you want to have your name and a topic come across. There's some things you can do, and we'll talk about that next stream. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be adding here. This is kind of a test, and I'm glad I think it's working at least. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, requests for content. You want to be on the show, email me at almostlegalpodcast@gmail.com or hit me up on the social media stuff. And congratulations to some friends of mine that got married, Will Thompson, and congrats, bro. And until next week, thanks you, Brian, for producer type guy. Thank you, Jack, for chilling with me. And thank you, Boomer, for being on the show.
We'll see you next time.
See you, bro. Have a good one, man.